Welcome, Rado, to the show. I am very pleased that you, with short notice, was able and wanting to hop on here, because I know that you have still got games to play. I know that there's a lot happening today. Pretty important day. A fight for potential second place spot, but we'll get into that in a moment. Before that, I want to give you a chance to, first, it can be brief, it can be long, it can be whatever you want it to any new viewers out there who might be watching this content knowing nothing about GeoGuessr esports, talk to me a bit. Who is Rado, and how did you get into GeoGuessr?
Well, I'm Radu.
Oh, check.
Crazy one
Next.
there. Yeah, I've been playing GeoGuessr since like 2017 was when I first played, but I got into it like 2018, I guess, like really into it. Yeah, I've like been playing for a while. Everyone knows that I've been like playing for a while. They're like, I'm one of the OGs, and then they're shocked to hear that I'm like still 21. But
Younglings.
yeah. No, I've just been playing forever. I've like been good at the game for a long time, but also I feel like my progression has been kind of slow.
Okay.
Like people who have been playing for much less time have gotten much better, or not much better. So I'm like as good, or like, at a similar level, like in a much shorter time. So
that's something I definitely want to. I'm just check marking that because I want to dive into that in a moment. But I want to let you give you a chance to continue talking first.
I don't know. I was kind of starting to yap a little. So
No.
That's dive into
all good, man. All good. then I might as well jump straight into it, because I think we see this. I mean, as you're mentioning, how people catch up pretty quickly. I think we see it very often, and it's not just in esports. It's in really anything competitive where there is let's call it a base, entry level skill that you have to learn in order to be good at anything. I mean, in GeoGuessr, it could be just like your average, how to get your countries right, get that meta down. And once you put your brain into, once you get good at the basics, it's about stacking up and like adding more to that plethora of info you have to possess in order to be good. And I think it makes perfect sense for you that you're now in, like, going from, you're not increasing in percentile anymore. You're increasing in Danish it's called promille. I do not know what it's called in English, but it's not percentages, it's point percentages, because you're at a point now where you're already 99% there. I mean, you're that good.
Yeah.
But in order to increase from 99.5 to 99.6, it's so much harder in that 0.1% than going from 0 to 50. You know what I mean? Because you're fine-tuning at the smallest margins. All the info that you possess. So I can definitely echo what you're saying, the feeling, because it's not at all the case in terms of the level of play you're on, but the feeling that people are catching on quickly, because where you're moving, it's a much harder climb than the move that people are doing. Like, they're still walking around down in the bottom of the mountain. The kilometers to the top might look the same. If you go, it's 800 meters to the top of Mount Everest. Great. The first 2 kilometers, pretty easy. But what you're seeing is they just call up 2 kilometers. Little do they know that from 7 kilometers up to the top, it's the hardest walk of their life, and 1 meter is the equivalent to 500 at the bottom, right? So that makes perfect sense, what you're saying there. But is that something that has kind of gotten to you in a bad way, or is it just something that you take into consideration?
I don't really, think of it in a way that, like, I literally was just comparing myself, saying that, like, other people can do it in a lot shorter time, but
no, it's more just since you brought it up, I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, I just like focus on my own gameplay, and like, I guess, like when I'm like playing, I just kind of like add things on like very slowly, I guess. Like I don't really grind that much, and so I don't know, like it's just like a very like slow and steady sort of growth that that like basically is all I do now. And I don't know.
Do you take things in particular? I mean, we just had the chat with Debre talking about obviously the U.S. county codes. Now he's working on Brazil as well. Are you much of a, I'm gonna zero in on this particular thing and get good at that, and then once we've like put that in the memory box, we can move on to the next thing? Or are you more of a here and there, kind of everywhere sort of things to try and improve on simultaneously?
I'd say like here and there. I really haven't. I mean, I have like grinded some countries individually, but I'm at a point where like there are no major gaps in my gameplay, and so the things that I add on is basically whatever mistakes I make, I go and look into those, or if I'm like really itching just to like play a specific country, because sometimes you just want to like be like, yeah, I just want to play this country for a little bit and just play that, but it's like, who cares?
Are there any countries like that for you lately? Like, do you have any countries that you're kind of diving into these days?
Like a few weeks ago, I was just like, you know what? Let me just play some Cambodia, and then I was like, I was playing Cambodia for the fun of it, and yeah, it was actually pretty enjoyable. So
yeah, I mean, you kind of get to roam the streets, get to learn what the country's all about. I mean, not learn, because you clearly already know to a pretty big extent, but get to go explore a bit more, maybe in a more casual like mental state than when you sit and you try to literally sponge up all info available to you at any given time. I think, I mean, for a lot of people, knowing, of course, Blinky as the current world champion, Kunzes as the winner last year, do you feel like, obviously, I mean, you're set in third, we're going to take a look at the leaderboard in a moment, but do you feel like maybe 2025 is your year? Because I know that the previous 2 years could have been as well had things gone differently, but are you in a now it's my time to shine sort of mental vibe, or how are you feeling?
I feel like it's like a now or never kind of thing for me, and to be honest, I feel like last year was like when I really should have won, or at least done better, but that didn't happen, so you just have to, move forward. But yeah, I will definitely be going all out, like trying to win it again this year. So
looking back at last year, then, I mean, not that we have to dive deep into it, but just briefly, is there anything in particular that, I mean, spoiler alert, you didn't win the world championship last year, but is there anything in particular that you now, thinking back at it, know? Not that it's a specific reason why you didn't, because that could come down to the individual matches and whatnot, but I mean, obviously, as a professional player, you go back and you kind of dissect performances in the past. Is there anything that you learned from your World Cup run last year that you've taken into this year's World League, and maybe, I mean, moving on to the majors as well, to really focus in on?
I think, to be honest, I felt like I had a pretty good mental going into the World Cup. I think for me, one of those things is like just to be like really, sharp in the moment. I've never really heard anyone else talk about this, but I feel like just literally how sharp you feel in the moment, like how quick you're able to like think of things. Like, I don't know, for me it really varies based off of like when I'm playing, or like, I don't know, how I'm feeling that day. So, trying to focus on that aspect of the mental and not just like a confidence thing, because I knew fully well like that I was capable of doing this, like playing at the top level. So I didn't need that aspect. I just needed to like actually be able to lock in the moment in just like a straight up like, processing sort of way, like thinking. And I've like kind of been like trying to work on that, but it's something that's like kind of unusual, I guess. Like, how do you even get better at that?
Yeah, I mean, is there anything in particular that you've done to try at least and work on it? Because obviously, I mean, I know in other esports, and that's more team focused, but some orgs with obviously bigger money available, when bigger economy in the scene, will have like sports psychologists and and whatnot to work with, but have you like spoken to people that have maybe got competitive experience to share or something along those lines?
No, not really. I think it would be really cool to actually talk to someone about that because I don't really know the best way to like approach that sort of thing. But
I'll gladly hook you up if you want people
yeah.
to talk to, because I know a few people that work within orcs. I don't know if they're freelancers as well, but sports psychologists, I mean, especially in this day and age where in general competitive levels are so high, and as Deborah was saying as well, like if you're not a grandmaster in chess at the age of 4, why are you even trying anymore, because the race is already over, right? I think for you and for other people in GeoGuessr, that could be one of the next big steps, because you can be as good as you want to online, sat in your underwear, because we all know that's how you guys are chilling. That was a weird thing to say, but you know, that's just how it is. We're vibing, we're in our rooms, and we're having a good time, but then you're going to another continent, you're jet lagged, you're having a hard time maybe processing what's going on. Maybe the food you're getting for breakfast at the hotel is not what you're used to eating at home. Like, there's so many small things that can factor in to your overall performance that I think many players don't necessarily take into account before they go and play. And that can be huge. So having someone to talk to maybe about that aspect of the game can be potentially tournament winning.
Yeah.
Do you think that was that? I mean, looking back at World Cup last year, was that a factor? Like, did LAN vibes and I mean, whether it be positive or negative things, did it impact you in how you played in the group stages?
Oh, in the group stages, I played like.
Or just in the tournament,
almost,
as a whole, like just being away from home, you know, not in your comfort zone in that regard.
I don't know how much, like, because I have like plenty of tournament experience. I was able to show, like, you know, for example, Andorra. I think Andorra was like as difficult as the World Cup per se, and I was able to win in an 8-player tournament, beating, you know, several current World League players today. And I feel like in that one I showed that like I'm capable to like lock in and really like perform even in a very uncomfortable circumstance, because when I went to Andorra, I literally flew in like the day before. I flew in from the US, obviously, because I live there, and everyone else flew in from Europe. They only had like 2-hour flights or whatever.
Helps.
When I got there, I literally first thing I did was take a nap, because I was like, I just need to get like as much sleep as I possibly can right now to like actually be rested up. And I guess like that was like the right move there. And yeah, I mean, I ended up winning in like pretty good I think I won all my games like 3-1, which is like very convincing. And yeah, I mean, I feel like I took a similar sort of approach in the World Cup last year, where like again, before the group stage, I feel like I played some, like I played the day before, but I didn't like focus on like trying to grind out. Like I really tried to just like stay calm and focused and, you know, do my job, I guess, because I knew I should be getting first in that group, and I did end up getting first in that group. I played quite well. And then yeah, I don't really know like what happened in the quarterfinal, or like in the second day, because again, I don't feel like I really changed my strategy in any way. And I felt very confident in the moment when I went against Foul. I remember like before the game just feeling super like pumped up, super like in the zone.
How was it?
Yeah,
like, I mean, obviously the GeoGuessr scene and the competitive scene of it has existed in a long time, but it's only recently, like, really started skyrocketing in terms of global awareness and money that's been pumped into the scene for the tournaments and whatnot. How did it feel? I mean, obviously you've been part of the scene for a long time, walking down those steps, because I mean, obviously I was on stage for a big portion of it during the player intros, and I feel like it was a good 50-50 of players walking down those marble steps with the music playing, the fans cheering and all that. Good 50-50 of players going, oh my god, I wish I was just home right now. Like, really not enjoying that walk, like a walk down on stage. And there was a good portion of them smiling, you know, those few high fives here and there of people just soaking it in and appreciating. How was it to you as a player, having gone from, you know, online at home, chill tournaments, to now walking through crowds with music roaring and whatnot on stage?
I enjoyed the visibility.
Yeah?
I think, I don't know. I've always kind of thought that, like, if you want to be, like, you know, up there at the top, you kind of do need a little bit of, like, an ego, but, like,
For sure.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, you need to, like, be able to, like, enjoy that sort of, like, pressure and, like,
Sure.
visibility. So yeah, I enjoyed it. And I'm like completely fine being on stage. I wouldn't say I have any issues. I feel like for me, like, playing in the World League versus playing on stage is like almost basically the same thing, just because you still have like I guess you have like more people watching in the World Cup, in the World Championship, but like there's still a big audience watching you, and so there's like basically the same amount of pressure. Like, doesn't matter what like setting you're in, if you're on stage, like, you're still playing. And I mean, the on-stage computers are better than my laptop that I play on, so, you know.
Is that
in
a factor?
like,
I mean, I have heard other players getting PC upgrades through World League, and to some extent it's improved their performances. Maybe it's not made the biggest difference, but are you at a point now where a better PC would actually help? I guess it mainly refers to like moving games and loading speeds and whatnot. Is there like an actual limitation to that for you right now?
maybe for moving slightly. I have noticed that on average people get to info quicker than me.
Okay.
Part of that maybe is just because I like to, you know, process a little bit when I'm like starting in the round. Like, I kind of like, you know, look around, see which way is the best to go, sort of thing. Some people just like mad dash down the road. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think it could certainly help. It's also a thing of like, you know, in this sort of game, like, every millisecond counts. So if you have like an extra millisecond to actually think, it kind of goes back to what I was talking about with like the being able to like just focus and like get your thought process. And so if you have like a few extra milliseconds, I guess it could be like maybe the difference maker in a couple of cases.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe if someone's putting pressure on you or stuff like that. But I don't know. It's not like the highest of my priorities to
No, it's all good.
get gaming PC for GeoGuessr.
No, good. I mean, you never know. You never know if it's something that actually burdened you. Then we got to get a donation goal up on the streams for the future. So now I want to draw your attention to the overall leaderboard. I don't know if you have it handy or not, but nonetheless, if possible, get it up there.
I kind of know. Yeah.
I would imagine that you do, just for the sake. You're currently sat in third. You have 2 more games to play. So does Consus ahead of you, and so does Debra sat behind you. Looking back at week 1, Rado. Is week 1 Rado satisfied with where he's gotten here? Is it within the boundaries of what you expected would be the case?
Within the boundaries, for sure. Would I have expected myself maybe a little bit higher? Probably.
Okay. But
it's not to take away from my performance, because I still think I played very well overall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the gap between like me and Blinky right now I'm seeing is like an 18-point gap. I don't think that's particularly indicative of the skill gap between us as players.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, I could probably say the same about people lower than me as well, because there's definitely a lot of good players who are lower than me who are also like 17 points.
Are there any players in particular? I mean, now that we look at the leaderboard, and not that you have to, I mean, and this is not just to make sure that people don't get it wrong. This is not to throw people under the bus or anything, because it's been a very long league. Are there any players in particular, like if you look through the list, that you're surprised are at where they are on the leaderboard. And that can be for better or for worse, like someone who positively surprised you, or maybe someone you thought was going to rank higher that is now sat further down.
I mean, there's plenty of people who like actually beat me. Who are like lower on the list. Like Kirani is only at 50 points and he beat me. It's like, yeah. So I mean, people were saying he got kind of unlucky. Like I think Kirani on average is like the unluckiest player in the league. But I mean, yeah. Either way, like probably a little lower than one might expect. Who else beat me? Who's like kind of in that area? Now I'm looking back, I'm like, I don't even remember who actually beat me.
No, it's more. It was also just, I mean, if there was anyone that stood out to you, like right off the bat, if there was anyone in particular, then that could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, Kirani would be a good example, I think. There.
Coming into the league, did you have any? I mean, I talked to Deborah about this as well, but I want to hear your thoughts on it too. Did you have anything in particular that, like you know, it's going to be a long league, you know, it's going to be week to week kind of scheduling? Did you have anything in particular that you knew I'm gonna have to get good at this in order to, you know, kind of thrive through all the 21 weeks? Or was it more just of a, I feel like I'm at a good like level right now, I just gotta, you know, kind of sharpen up on certain things?
Like I said earlier, I think it really doesn't make sense for me to try and really you know, focus on like a specific thing. Like I found it honestly I found it kind of detrimental to be like, okay, a day or two before my World League games to just like grind a certain country, because if I do that, it kind of makes me play worse in a sense. I feel either a false sense of security, like I make riskier guesses because I think I know more about those countries, or I just straight up like focus on those countries too much, and like my brain immediately goes to like thinking about them, and that like can like skew my thought process as well. Like I think, oh, you know, if I'm practicing Russia, I think everything looks like Russia after that, and so then I send Russia on Ukraine.
You gotta try and tell yourself, why is this not Russia?
Yeah,
I get that.
I don't know. Yeah, that sort of thing. So yeah, like I said earlier, I tend to try and like do a very sort of like holistic approach to my like when I grind, I guess. So yeah, I don't know how other people see that, if they agree with what I said, or just like if they approach it differently, I guess.
No,
but,
just
yeah.
Again, I mean, this is you don't have to, what do you call it? Don't have to defend yourself in any of these regards. It's that's what I like about being able to serve as a platform for where you can literally just like speak on what's on your heart in these geo regards. Looking forward now, with you being third on the World Championship leaderboard, going into the Americas regional. You obviously being in first place coming into it. How do you think that tournament is gonna fare? Just based on like expectations and whatnot, would you be surprised if you don't end out in first? Not to try and have you curse yourself or your performance or anything, but how just in general, how are you feeling going into the majors?
Probably not as confident as I would have been hoping. I think the other players are obviously very good, and I mean, you know, that's to be expected. But there's definitely people that could pull off an upset in a sense, I guess, because I'm like the higher rated. But yeah, I can't take anything for granted at this point. And yeah, my expectation would be like I would want to get first in this, because that would be best for me as like, you know, in terms of seeding and whatnot in the World Championship. But I'm certainly not like you know, I'm not going in with the mindset that like, yeah, I'm gonna get 40 points out of this.
No.
Sort of thing. So,
makes sense. Makes perfect sense. I guess with leaderboard being done for the second, I wanna kind of Because I know you, and the funny thing is, you and I, the first time we had anything to do with one another, and I don't know how I forgot it for a bit, but I kind of remembered. We casted one of the wildcard matches together. And that was, I mean, that was a day where I was casting with 6 different people in the span of 2 hours, and it was very much me meeting a lot of new people with 3 seconds to get to know them, and then, okay. And then we have a chat again. Have you ever considered for tournaments that you wouldn't qualify to or whatever to do like broadcasting for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I don't see myself as like a great like host. I love what like Bloom and you guys have done. Like there's like a very sort of like you need to be in the groove of like knowing when to talk and like how to like what to say and stuff like that. And I think I'm not like the best at that, so I feel like I might struggle on stage in the moment. Honestly, like if I were to cast, that would low-key be more scary for me than like actually playing. Because playing, I just do what I like to do. I just play, you know. Casting, like that's a whole nother sort of like field, I guess. And
so we got to get Rado casting more. I guess that's the next.
That would definitely be outside my comfort zone. But if I were given the opportunity, they're like, hey, we really want you to cast for this because you're a good player. You know, we want you to do like color casting or whatever. I would be like, yeah, you know, like totally. I'm
cool.
So down because that would be a fun experience. But yeah, don't expect me to be the best caster.
No, I mean, you know, we all same with me currently spamming a learnable meta. We all got to start somewhere, and I think let alone the fact that you and I can have a conversation without us talking over one another every 3 seconds, because that's usually, well, not usually, but that has happened with me and casters in the past. Where I mean, obviously we're working online, so it's hard to read body language and all that stuff. But let alone the fact that we can have a conversation like this is a pretty good indicator that you wouldn't be the worst. And also, you're incredibly insightful. So that's always a pretty good shout for your prospects of doing casting work in the future. Is there anything in particular? I mean, with some of the other people I've had on, there's been a lot of talk about, you know, formats and how maybe certain players wish certain rules were in another way, or maybe there's been a lot of talk with moving, how that's not really being given the, I guess, platform or value that maybe people would want it to, because it's a lot about pinpointing, and right now that's obviously not worth a whole lot. Are there anything in those regards that you feel like you want to voice your opinion on? Not saying that you have to, it's only if you want to, or are you pretty, or anything else in particular? I mean, again, see this more as a platform where if there's anything you wish to share light on, then that's possible.
To be honest, not that much. I feel like most of the stuff that's
completely fair.
You know, people love to talk about like the things that could change with the format and whatnot, but I mean, obviously, I feel like there could be some changes, but I don't think like I could add anything new to discussion.
Completely fair. So, no, makes perfect sense. There has been a lot of inputs shared, so I do understand the sentiment.
I watched Deborah yap about it for quite a while. So.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? I think it's only for the best that you guys are so opinionated, because people that just sit back and kind of just accept things how they are, while from a corporate perspective might be easier to work with, usually that doesn't necessarily bring out the best result in the end of things. So I think I'm sure that GeoGuessr is very positive in you guys having as many opinions as you do, because that makes it better for them to, you know, like get a good idea of how things should be in the future. I want to ask you just as kind of a side note, and while I do that, chat, if you have any questions for Rado, and if Rado is interested in answering them, please do share them right now with us here in chat, and we'll get around to those in a second. I want to ask you, is there any meta, like, because we talked to Deborah about this before as well, is there any meta that you have felt burdened to have to learn that you really didn't want to spend your time on, but you're like, I need to be good at this, because if not, then like I'm not gonna be as good as I need to be. And on the flip side, what's the funniest meta you've had to spend time learning?
Hmm. I don't think if there's really any
Just
sort of. I don't like actively like hate any sort of meta. Like even like stuff that people generally hate, like car color and copyright, is like
Hmm.
fine for me. Moving metas like area codes, while I'm not particularly, I don't particularly enjoy to learn area codes. It's not like, I don't know. It's
You
not
don't wake
something
up
I
in the morning going, "I
hate.
want to learn area codes."
Oh, for sure no, but like I I feel like it's fine. I enjoy like other aspects of like moving knowledge, learning more, like learning place names and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, exactly what Deborah said as well. Um but I mean they're fine, to be honest. Like if I had to go for something that I like the least to do, is I guess learning area codes, but it's not it's not like the end of the world, you
No,
know.
no, no. And on the flip side, what has been the best experience, and like what do you enjoy the most when it comes to like figuring out new things and whatnot?
Um
If there is anything in
I
particular.
like I like just, clicking maps and just like being able to just find stuff myself, like just looking around on Mapmaker and like coming up with like just sort of identifying stuff myself. And so it can be like any sort of meta, like
Mm.
vegetation or architecture or a specific coverage or something like that. But I do enjoy just doing stuff like that um in Mapmaker. People know that I like just using Mapmaker a lot. So yeah.
Now, okay, so one final question from me before we jump into the chat questions. And now I had it, and now it slipped my brain because brains malfunction after 7 hours of show every now and again. Yes, okay. So in a 24-hour day, which, haha, that's how days work, where you are completely off the grid, you're not allowed to do any GeoGuessr. What does Rado do
Mhm.
in a whole day of no GeoGuessr?
Travel, like
Real
go
life
places.
GeoGuessr.
Yeah, that's what I enjoy doing. And I'm like the type of person who will literally enjoy just traveling for the sake of travel, like just
Mm-hmm.
going like literally anywhere. So I go to like, random towns in Georgia for the fun of it. Um and I like, yeah, I like post pictures on my Instagram sometimes about like my travels and whatnot. But like I'll just go and take photos of like, you know, architecture, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, random buildings in like a random small town that nobody in their life is like even thinking about visiting. But I find like that sort of stuff interesting because I think there's just beauty like everywhere, and you just have to like, if you know what, like where to look, and like if you're able to appreciate it, then
For sure.
it's out there. So I would just like take a road trip or something
Makes good
if I
sense.
if I had a day off.
Do you have any, but like a top of the bucket list locations? If we could just literally zoom you up and plump you down anywhere in the world?
Definitely somewhere in Latin America.
Okay. Have you
Like
been?
literally
Like
the
anywhere?
only place I've been is like Yucatan. I went to obviously I like went to the beach at like Cancun,
Mm-hmm.
Cozumel. And then I also went to Chichen Itza, but that's about it. And I definitely want to go back to Mexico and like actually see like the real Mexico, like central Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
um, because there's like so much cool stuff there. And then like any Andean country, Brazil as well is cool. Probably Central America, though I obviously know less about Central America. Um, but yeah, like literally any of those countries would be really cool to visit.
Cool. Now I'm gonna jump into the questions from chat. If there are any memes or anything that I do not understand, but that you're a big part of, because I've seen people write the weirdest quotes, all talk long, and they're only getting weird by the second. So I don't know if that's something to do with you, Rado, if just chat getting kind of a brain lag at this point in the day. But they were fun. Thank you, chat, for trying to throw me off for a moment there. Some of them were really good. First question from Slash, and I don't know if he wrote it wrong or if I'm reading this wrong. But do you miss the times of Neek Wars? I don't know what that is, but I'll let you get through to it.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, back in the day, like, I don't even know when, like 2020, 2021, something like that.
And, yeah, a little insight into what that actually is.
It was like a fun game mode, like competitive, like at the time, you had like challenges and like people would go head to head in that sense. This was before duels were even a thing. And just like, fun sort of mini like game modes, I guess, that this one streamer used to do. His name is Sunken City 64. Me and him were pretty good friends, so yeah, it's a throwback, it was like, it's a good time, I guess.
Then we have a question from Kai Senate Goat, not realizing that Rado C, Realistic C, is the goat. What is the song of the day, and how do you plan to play against Harrier and Trishta?
Song of the day, I don't know if there is one right now.
What were you listening to today?
But,
what have you been listening to today thus far?
I haven't listened to any music today.
I guess.
I woke up, I watched the World League this morning, and then I ate breakfast, and then I tuned into your stream. So that's about all I did today.
That's been the day so far. Life has been the song of the day.
Exactly. So no song of the day right now, unfortunately. But for Harrier. Harrier. What did I say? Anyways, for Harrier and Trichter, I don't know. I feel like they're gonna be like really locked in because they do.
They better be.
Points. So we'll see how that goes. I'm.
Yeah. Henry versus Realistic C. I like it. That's a sick game. I would love to watch it.
Anyways, yeah, I feel like they're gonna be locked in, so I'm actually low-key worried about the games, but I have to be locked in as well. So
for sure, that's gonna be good. I mean, I like to think that we kind of chalked up at least the EMEA race pretty well in the broadcast today. Obviously, APAC and Americas, at least in terms of who goes through the regionals, is kind of done. But Trishta has a lot to lose in being beaten by you. He effectively needs to 2-0 you to guarantee his spot. Which is gonna be pretty tricky. I'm not imagining you holding back any swings when it comes to that matchup. It's gonna be a good time.
I saw some people in chat praying on his downfall a little bit.
Whoa. Okay. Well, I mean that's fair enough. People choose who they want to support. I can't be against them on that. Next question from Tammy. How was it for you to represent America instead of Romania?
It just makes more sense for me. I like to, take a 2-hour flight to Dallas rather than fly to Europe for something and Jönköping. So, that's like kind of the main reason. I think also having visibility in the US is kind of a little more beneficial in like the long term for like an esports scene. If you're like the number one player in the US, that kind of gets you a lot further than being the number one player in Romania.
Valid point.
So I don't know. There's that aspect to it. Obviously, I still rock the Romania glasses on my avatar and stuff like that. So, and my parents are Romanian. I'm ethnically Romanian, so I obviously have ties to Romania. But
does your family live in? Because I don't know exactly what the situation is. Does your family live in the States, or are you there by yourself, or how does it work?
Yeah, I've lived in the United States my whole life, but we speak Romanian at home. All my family is Romanian, so yeah, I visit Romania like pretty often. Usually like once a year. So yeah, but it's obviously I'm also like American in that sense because I've lived here my whole life.
Makes perfect sense. Next up, we have a question from Not Human. What is your least favorite country to play, if there is one?
I was actually thinking about this yesterday. I played in a skewed world tournament, and on both New Zealand locations that I got yesterday, I like guessed the wrong continent. And I just generally dislike New Zealand from GeoGuessr perspective. I think it's like annoyingly difficult for some reason.
What makes it hard? Is it the terrain or?
The vegetation, I think,
Vegetation,
is the
yeah.
big thing. There's not too many like regional metas, and a lot of the regional metas are kind of like inconsistent. And yeah, I don't know, like it's just not like the most interesting. It's interesting in like a landscape perspective because it's got like nice mountains and whatnot, but it's not like an interesting country from a GeoGuessr perspective, in my opinion.
Makes good sense. I'm just glad you didn't say Denmark. Yeah.
Yeah, Denmark's fine, honestly.
At least it's easy to get info in Denmark. Pretty much in all corners, you're gonna get something. From Diff K, have you experienced any burnout during the 21 weeks of the World League?
For sure. I think if the World League was like half the amount of time it was, I would probably be up in like first or second place. Like, I don't know. I think it kind of got to me towards the end.
Fair.
So yeah, it doesn't mean that I'm like burnt out of GeoGuessr. Like I feel like I still very much enjoy playing GeoGuessr. It's just the fact that like you need to be like so focused on like these games, and everyone plays like basically their life depends on it like every week. So if you're not giving it like your 100%, then like it shows pretty significantly.
For sure.
And I've definitely felt that. So yeah.
No, I couldn't. I mean, it's a very long tournament, and I think that was the immediate kind of feedback on it as well, that it's very hard to stay on top of your game for such an extended period of time, and not just on top of your game, but continuously evolving as well, because that's, as you're saying, is what everyone else is doing. And now it makes perfect sense that you can't be mentally perfectly like locked in every single week. But good on you to be able to at least weather the storm and not have it go fully like downhill at a point where maybe it could have. So up next from Molly, what is your most specific meta? If there is one.
Specific.
Just anything that's maybe oddly specific.
Oh, I love obviously like I'm the person who really like started researching Bangladesh. Like I don't think anyone really looked into Bangladesh before I did. And like I found like so much interesting stuff about like seasonal differences in terms of like, you know, rice, like when they grow the rice in Bangladesh, like so you can like region guess the country just based off like the rice seasons.
Rice
and so
meta.
Like stuff like that. You can't like apply it as well to like other countries, unfortunately. Bangladesh is kind of unique in that sense, but I still think it's like really cool that you can just like basically look at the rice and kind of identify where you are in the country, and that's purely like a like seasonal coverage reason. Like so yeah.
Makes good sense.
That's like quite specific and niche.
Yeah, I mean, it's very niche to me, that's for sure. I hadn't heard about it before. Next up is from Rixa. Weird question. Do any pros know about the map that shows you all of the disc golf courses in the world? It's probably not useful, but maybe it could help with rural Estonia, Finland, or southern US. Are you a big disc golfer? Is that why the question comes through?
Disc golf?
It's actually a really good time. I've played it a couple of times. I'm not very good, but it's a lot of fun.
I don't think I've ever played it in my life, to be honest. So
well, Rick, so you gotta hook up Rado with some discs, man. You gotta go out and get some games in.
Yeah, apparently.
Have you thrown a frisbee before?
Yeah.
So you're good. You got the basics down.
I played like mini golf, I guess. Is this similar to that? I would assume.
No, I mean in terms of you have
like golf.
You have a course, like you start somewhere and you have to end somewhere.
Okay.
That's the same, but instead of a hole in the ground, you have like a basket with chains on it that you have to kind of shoot the frisbee into. So if you can shoot a frisbee and you can walk, as we were talking about, to kind of loop the whole conversation we've had, you've already done the first 2 kilometers of Mount Everest.
That's true.
You should be good. It's a good time. Fresh air, hang out with some buddies and play some frisbees. And also, it's one of those things where you just kind of look at it and giggle a bit. But then when you see how good some people are, and like specific throwing techniques to curve the frisbee around trees and whatnot, it gets insanely in depth. But I guess that's the same with everything else. Next question from Interceptor. What's your favorite dish besides, and I'm probably going to butcher the name, sarmale? Which I don't even know what it is. Yeah. I don't even know what that is.
It's a Romanian dish.
Okay.
Sarmale are pretty good. I think
what
I
is
had
sarmale?
Some a few weeks ago.
What's
they're like ground pork, I think, and they're like wrapped in like, there's like different types of sarmale, but like usually they're wrapped in cabbage. There's also, you can wrap them in like
Do you fry them or put them in the oven, or it's like meatballs?
No, it's not like meatballs. It's like just ground meat wrapped in like cabbage, like like a just like a thin like wrapping of cabbage. They're actually very good.
Sounds pretty delicious to me.
Yeah. I don't know if like any other countries have like a similar cuisine. Maybe.
I have no clue.
I guess so, because like people are saying that now.
Now you're getting me hungry. This is a dangerous topic to bring up when I've been on air for almost 7 hours.
Yeah, I would say it's not my favorite dish. Like,
what is your favorite?
I love, but there are definitely better ones. I love kiftele, which is like, kiftele are like kind of more similar to meatballs.
Okay.
But they don't have like that much meat in them. They have some, but like there's more like sort of spices and like I think there's like rice in it and stuff. But it's like breaded and like in a meatball shape, sort of.
Sorry. Was it for? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here. But I wasn't obviously part of GeoGuessr at the time. Was it for GeoGuessr that at the World Cup, not last year but the year before, they had like a content thing where they had to go out and make food? Did they cook food?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I think they did do that. They did.
Okay,
because
like I was just wondering. I just
through that
weird memory of maybe that was the case, and I wanted to ask if you were part of it. But I guess that's not been the case. Okay, so great food talk. Great, thanks, chat. Now I'm hungry. I'll gotta have to look into some Romanian recipes for dinner tonight. Next up from Zigzag, who is the map making app GOAT?
That's a good question.
You're allowed to say
probably
yourself if that's what the question leads to.
I think Wolf Trekker's got to be like the map making app GOAT.
Okay.
It's like he's like on, obviously Anna as well, because she's the one that actually like made the map making app and like maintains it even when she's on vacation. Like shout out Anna. But yeah, I mean, there's like other like actual map makers who like put in a ton of time into it. So yeah.
Okay, so this is not so much a question, more of a command. Choose one GeoGuessr Pro to go on a road trip with in America. You can pick a caster as well, just saying. But no, who would you go with? Who would you? Let's say 3 days. It's not like you have to commit to this person for 2 weeks or something. But a 3-day road trip anywhere you want to go in the US. Who are you bringing along? And you don't have to pay their flights or anything either. They're just instantly there.
Yeah. That's such an interesting question. You know, I really wanted to go. Plenly and Zigzag last year, they went on like a cool road trip through the Balkans.
Ooh.
And I really wanted to join them, but unfortunately I had like school to go through. So I
also had school.
Them,
it wasn't because I didn't get invited or anything. So yeah.
It would have been really fun to like go and do the road trip with them. So you know, I would totally tag them along for one.
Good shout. It did look like they had a great time.
Yeah.
Where would you go? Where in the US? If you could take someone who had never been to the US before on a 3-day road trip, where would you go?
You gotta do like a West Coast tour. Just go along the coast from Washington to like California and just do that.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, obviously it's kind of 3 days is like not a lot of time.
That's a lot of driving.
It is, but that's just like
Well, we'll
US, I
extend it to a
guess.
week. It's good company, you know. We'll extend it
Yeah,
to a week. You get a
exactly.
good A1 or whatever the road is called out there. I've done parts of
Uh,
it from San
yeah,
Francisco to
the
Los
one, yeah.
Angeles, and then I've been to Vancouver, so I guess I've kind of skipped parts of it.
Hmm. Well, I haven't even been to. I've been to California, but I haven't been to Oregon or Washington
Nope,
or BC. So I would like to do that, I guess.
that is beautiful.
Yeah. So just like basically go down from like start in Vancouver and then go down to like San Diego. That'd be like fire. So
Sounds like a good
yeah.
time. Man. You know what? I'm following you on Instagram, man. I'm just saying, when is the content? I'm looking forward to it. You get a bit of a break after today's
Surely,
games
yeah.
before the Americas major. There's plenty of time to fly to Vancouver and rent a car. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I could fly to Vancouver.
Getting Zigzag and Lindy to join in with this short notice. I'm not sure if that's going to be possible, but I'm sure that we'll make something happen. We'll we'll see if there's anything we can do in order to try and extend it. I'm trying to scroll further through questions here. Radu, what is your favorite copy pasta from Jado? Because there's been a lot of them. Not gonna lie, there's been a lot of them.
I love the one with the me and CG that's like CG went to the petting zoo and saw a little goat. That one, I don't remember exactly how it goes, but that one is like so funny.
I giggled.
to
I
me.
giggled as well. Yeah.
And also the one that's like, if I saw Radu in person, I would fall to my knees, or I don't remember what it is, but
When did this become a thing? Like, how did you become the main hostage for insane quotes like this?
Well, I have an amazing friend group who loves to cheer me on for
Sounds
my
like it.
games. And yeah, love you guys.
There you
But
go.
I honestly don't remember how it started, but they just started doing that, and people would log. So I love seeing it.
It's a cake that's been cooking for a long time, and it's only getting weirder
Yeah.
the longer we leave it in the oven. It sure sounds
Yeah,
like.
let's not get it too burnt, but
From what I've
no,
seen
I'm
so
kidding, I'm
far, it's been a
kidding.
pretty good mix of very very chill and kind of on the border, but never beyond the border. So good on you, chat, for not getting
Yeah,
getting me banned on Twitch or anything.
my my friends love to like do that. They're like right on the border. It's like you gotta be in on it, so it's like sarcasm, but like
that's Danish
it
humor in
can
a
be super
nutshell.
funny.
Yeah. If you feel like they're either really hating on you or this is the funniest thing ever, then you've hit the sweet spot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let me see. Anything that I've missed here? A question to Dep, right? Well, I'm sure if he's in chat, which he is, he can answer that. So we already got that. Can we get your opinion? And again, I do not know what this is. What is SGS? Before I read the rest of the question.
Goose Sand. That's like that was our Rainbow team.
Okay.
When Rainbow did like the team competition.
Okay.
It was like me, Lenley, Zigzag, Finbar, Victor, a few other people, but like those are like kind of the core group. And like we like played together a lot because we were in the team together. So yeah.
Fair enough. Next question from Zigzag. Does your family Does your family have a horse-drawn wooden cart? Oh, being Romanian, I suppose that's the joke. Yep.
Unfortunately, no. None of my family lives in like a rural part of Romania. They all live in
from what I've seen in
so.
Romania, that's not necessarily limiting things, though.
I mean, true, that is true, but you wouldn't see that in Bucharest.
Fair enough.
Maybe in a smaller town, but not in Bucharest. So yeah.
Thoughts about Transylvania? I don't know. It's a place. What are your thoughts about it? You seen any bats there lately?
No, I haven't seen any bats, but Transylvania is really cool. It's actually probably the most interesting part of Romania. Tons of cool like architecture. Obviously, there's like the Hungarian influence, but there's also a lot of like German influence as well.
Mm-hmm.
There were like historic German settlers there, and yeah, I've been to Transylvania a few times. I love going there. And yeah, I would totally love to go back again. So, yeah.
Nice. I think we're reaching the end of sane questions. Now it's getting more memey. But let me see. Did we miss anything? Something about football. Are you into football or soccer or?
Yeah.
Okay. Thoughts?
I'm into a lot of sports.
Thoughts on
but
Birmingham
yeah,
winning? I guess Beham is Birmingham City winning League One. I do not. I know nothing about football, so I'm the wrong to have to kind of middle these questions.
I mean, it was funny when they dropped to League One in the first place.
Who's your favorite team? Who do you support?
Aston Villa, which is like their local rivals.
Are they good?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you have to say yes because you're a fan, but are they actually good?
No, I mean they're actually like flying this season. They're in the Champions League quarterfinals. They're playing against PSG. They lost the first leg, but
are they better than Tottenham?
Yes.
The only reason I'm
yes,
asking.
they are actually. Hey,
Okay.
Villa's like 5th right now, and then like Tottenham's like, I don't know, like 13th or something. So
I just have a friend who's a Tottenham fan, so any chance I can get at him is always a good time. Not that I know anything about it.
I love. It's kind of fun to hate on Tottenham. So
yeah. I get that vibe from anyone I talk to who's not a Tottenham fan either, which makes it more fun to get at him as well. A lot of laughing, a lot of reactions, a lot of chat spamming, funny things, which now has drowned all the questions. I think that sums it up. I think. Wait, no. Important from Kirsten. Where do you send fan mail? Can we get your PO, like your postbox info, real quick in chat?
Oh, Kirsten, you know where to send fan mail.
There you go. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, then you're not worthy of sending fan mail. Exactly.
No
Rado,
comment.
before I let you go, I want to hear, is there anything that you feel like we didn't go over? Anything that you want to talk about then? Now is the time for you to dive in.
Trying to think if there's anything really.
Just, I mean, if anything comes to mind. We can always do 2.0, you know?
True. No, I mean, I'm like, you know, excited to play my games today. Excited for the regionals.
Yeah.
And yeah, see what's to come. So yeah,
we're excited for it too, no doubt about it. Any final shout outs, waves to fans, to moms, to horse-drawn carts in Romania that you want to do?
Shout out to my fans, I guess. Yeah, and my friends, of course. I see plenty of them in chat, so
they are ever supporting. It seems. Glad to have everyone here supporting Rado. It's been a pleasure, Realistic C, having you on board. We're looking forward to your match against Henry later today. That's the fun I get to have. That's the only fun. Because everyone always comes at me whenever I say just one word wrong in a 7-hour broadcast. So now I get a chance to do it to you guys as well. It's good fun. Thank you so much, Radu, for joining me. I am hoping for you that today's games go the way that you want them to. And looking forward to see you play in the Americas Majors.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by. And until next time.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.